Mimi had always considered herself a lucky woman. She had a steady relationship with Chike, a man she had been with for 3 years. Their love was comfortable, familiar, and steady. Chike was dependable, responsible, and, to Mimi, he was everything she thought she needed. They were planning for the future, talking about marriage, building a life together. Everything seemed perfect. But things began to shift when Kofi entered her life. Kofi was new at the office where Mimi worked, and his charisma immediately caught her attention. He was charming, funny, and effortlessly confident. Unlike Chike, who was quiet and reserved, Kofi's energy was magnetic. Mimi quickly found herself drawn to him, not in a romantic way at first, but through the simple conversations they had. They had so much in common: music, movies, and even the same quirky sense of humor. As their friendship grew, Mimi started to notice her own feelings changing. What started as friendly banter soon turned into late-night conversations, shared laughs, and a connection she couldn't deny. There was something thrilling about Kofi, something she hadn't felt in a long time. One evening, as Mimi and Kofi were talking after work, Kofi looked at her with a serious expression. "Mimi," he said quietly, "I've been meaning to tell you something." Mimi paused, feeling the weight of the moment. "What's going on, Kofi?" she asked, her heart racing a little faster. Kofi took a deep breath, clearly hesitant. "I've been falling for you. And I know this might sound crazy, but I think I've loved you for a long time now." Mimi's heart skipped a beat. She wasn't expecting this. She had grown close to Kofi, but she hadn't expected him to feel the same way. She felt a sudden rush of emotions: confusion, excitement, guilt. Her thoughts immediately drifted to Chike. Was she really ready to risk everything for a new, unpredictable connection? I don't know what to say," Mimi stammered. Kofi gave her a soft smile. "You don't have to say anything. I just wanted to be honest with you. I value our friendship, but I can't ignore how I feel anymore." Mimi sat in silence, trying to process his words. She had never thought of Kofi in a romantic way, until now. She had always seen Chike as her future, but now, she found herself questioning everything. The spark she felt with Kofi was undeniable. A week later, Mimi confronted Chike. She had always felt comfortable talking to him, and now, more than ever, she needed to understand where they stood. "Chike, we need to talk," Mimi said one evening as they sat down in their living room. Chike looked at her with tired eyes. "What's wrong?" he asked, sensing the seriousness in her tone. Mimi took a deep breath, trying to find the right words. "I feel like we've been drifting apart. I don't know if you've noticed, but I feel like something's changed between us. Are we still on the same page about everything? About the future?" Chike looked down at his hands. "I've been thinking a lot about that too, Mimi. I think I'm not in love with you anymore." His words hit Mimi like a slap across the face. "What?" Mimi whispered, her voice trembling. Chike sighed deeply. "I care about you, Mimi. I do. But I just don't feel the same way. I think we've changed." "You've changed?" Mimi was stunned. She had never expected this. "But we've been planning for the future, marriage, Chike. How can you just say that?" "I don't know. I just feel distant from you." "We are not the same anymore," he said quietly. Mimi felt like the ground had been ripped out from under her. She had always trusted Chike, believed in their relationship, but now, his words felt like a betrayal. Mimi turned to Kofi for comfort. After all, he had confessed his feelings for her, and now, in the wake of her heartbreak, she couldn't help but find solace in his presence. He was always there, ready to listen, ready to offer a shoulder to lean on. One evening, as they sat together at a cafe, Mimi finally gave in to her feelings. She leaned forward and kissed Kofi, their chemistry undeniable. For the first time in months, Mimi felt alive, free from the weight of her broken relationship. But as their relationship grew deeper, Mimi started to notice things that made her uncomfortable. Kofi had been too perfect, too understanding, almost as if he had been waiting for this moment. There were small signs, things Kofi said that hinted he knew more about her life than he should. One evening, Mimi did something she never thought she would. She went through Kofi's phone. And there, in a hidden folder, she found old messages between Kofi and Chike, messages that made her stomach turn. The messages revealed that Kofi had always been in love with her. But what shocked her even more was that Kofi had known about Chike's doubts long before Mimi did. Mimi confronted Kofi the next day, her heart racing as she paced around the apartment. "Why didn't you tell me the truth, Kofi?" she demanded. "You and Chike, you knew he didn't love me anymore, didn't you? And you used that to get closer to me." Kofi looked at her, his face a mixture of guilt and sincerity. "I never wanted to hurt you, Mimi. But yes, I knew. I always knew how he felt. And I've always loved you. But I didn't want to lose you to him, so I waited. I didn't expect to fall for you like this." Mimi's mind spun. "So you used me," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I was just a way for you to get closer to him." "No," Kofi replied, his voice soft but firm. "I never meant to manipulate you. I wanted to be with you." Mimi felt betrayed. She had been in love with Kofi, but now, it felt like a lie. Everything had been a game to him, a calculated move to win her heart while knowing that Chike had already given up on her. Mimi took a step back, her mind racing. She couldn't keep living in this emotional chaos. In the end, she realized that the love she thought she wanted, whether it was with Chike or Kofi, wasn't real. It had been built on lies, manipulation, and secrets. Mimi made the hardest decision of her life. She walked away from both men. She chose to focus on herself, to heal from the pain, and to regain the independence she had lost in the midst of her tangled relationships. Kofi and Chike were left behind, their love for her shattered by their own betrayals. Mimi knew it was time to rebuild her life, and for the first time in a long time, she felt free.